our SERVIR-HKH homepage. And there, if you click on science application or further go down, you will see the link to that application. So when I click this application, this particular one, then you will get the information about this app. You can go through this product, and then there you will see the explore application button down below, which you can click and to launch the app. Just to update on the link that Franz has shared in his slide. So we have removed the guest box, that URL, but nonetheless, it's same otherwise. So when you go to this app, and then you will be provided with this kind of interface, you will see this interface. Basically, there are 3 layers, as you can see here. So if I turn off the perennial water bodies, so this flood extent, actually this is water surface that Franz described earlier. And on top of that, even this layer also Franz mentioned earlier in his presentation. So these are the permanent kind of water bodies. And then when you overlay these, and then the rest of the blue pixels are all inundated area. So at the moment, by default, you see the area of Bangladesh, but here you can see, like, you can hide show these 3 bookmarks where you can quickly, like, click somewhere. Like if I click Nepal, so you are taken to Nepal area, or you can always do the panning as well if you like, or India. So you are zoomed to the Bihar kind of in like the area for India, or go to Nepal. So you can zoom in and zoom out to see the pixels or the plot extent, and you can even make this like using this button the full screen if you like. And then you can use this like at the bottom you will see the time slider tool, which you can click like earlier, like click, so to go to previous or next. At the moment, so there are like 3 days kind of interval that we have set in, which you can change, which I will of course show in a bit as well. But if I zoom out a bit, and then you will see these layers, and then if I go to previous extent, you will see, like, for now at the moment it's July 31st to August 3. The reason I'm going backward is, like, by default we show the latest kind of data that we have with us. So when you go to the app, you will see the time slider at the latest date, like, which is August 7 to 10. You see the inundated area here. The thing is, like, when you use this time slider, sometimes you don't see the flood layer everywhere. Like, it's not coming everywhere. The reason is being, like, one upside, like, one reason is probably there is no flood. Another is also because of the time lag, like latency of the satellite data that comes depending on the area, so probably 6 to 12 days. So because of unavailability of data, so this time slider, if I may, like, you can increase or decrease the times, like, period as well, if you like. So it's doable. So at the moment, like, I have gone to, let's say, 1 day, and then I can do this as well. So you can do like 1 day or more than 1 day interval, and then view the inundated area as well. One thing I would like to mention here is, because we are capturing the images with a timestamp, which comes with not only the day, but the time as well. So if I put both the knobs of the time slider on the same day, so and what it does with the technology like ArcGIS, JavaScript API technology that we are using to put together this app is, it uses like when I just put this like for each day that I put the knob, it takes 12 o'clock UTC time. So because that we have scenes for different time interval, like timestamps. So from 12 AM to 12 AM UTC, like you won't find, or we won't find any like scenes. So that's why like please don't use both knobs at the same location. That way you won't see any data. Uh, but this is something like as a feedback, like we would like to hear from you, like what you think about it. We could just do away with the timestamp and then just show the data based on the date only, or day only as well. For that, we would need to remove the timestamp in the data while publishing our image service. Uh, so another feature is like you can use this, like let's say I choose a particular time period, and then of course I can zoom in to area, like let's say I am interested in Kosi area, Kosi River, Viratnagar, so this must be Kosi, yeah. And then I can even animate this. So depending on the internet speed, so once you go one round circle, it will be cast and then come easily and nicely. But so after every second or so, like you will see like it's moving, and then you see for different time period. But time extent, like at this example is 2092 or 330 to 3, so 4 days or so. So that time period will remain same for your time, like the time period that you have chosen, and then it will animate and show for different time period with the same extent, of course, for that particular area that you have zoomed into. So, and then also with most of the like mapping applications, you can also switch to different base maps. We haven't put many base maps here, just satellite and then the street kind of view with terrain information, and and on top of that, user can click this RGB layer as well to visualize. Uh, so the reason like you are not seeing it here is like, oh, it's coming here, but probably for any particular day, like again, let me repeat, it's because of the revisit time as well. That is one of the unavailability of satellite, like for that locations that you have zoomed into. So like Franz and Laurie mentioned, so in this RGB, so I believe it's based on VV and VH layers, and so that RGB layer has been created, and so you see clearly the water body as well. So you can visualize the RGB layer and also the water surface, like water body layer, along with this permanent water bodies, so as to allow us to determine that it is flood or not flood, because if it is still permanent, so water will be always there. So along with these two layers, user can figure out where the inundation is happening for the time period we have chosen.
Maybe a couple of words. So one thing that maybe you can demonstrate, if you go back to the default setting for Bangladesh, for instance, you may notice that it looks, when you sort of start the service, it often looks like there's water everywhere. So, but if you zoom in, um, the rendering of the layer is improved. There's the way the interpolation is done at the large zoom out levels is nearest neighbor, which blends a lot of the flood pixels together. So, to look at more detailed flood extent it's worthwhile zooming in so that you have a better idea what the water actually is.
Thank you, Franz. Yeah, you right dimension. Because of the like this pyramid generation that ArcGIS uses. So Franz has correctly like pointed out in the zoomed out version, it may appear like it's flood everywhere, which is not the case. So it will be wise to zoom in and then visualize these layers. Thank you, Franz.
There is a question in the chat. Can we have access to the details of the used image, like the sensor, the date of the image acquired? Any kind of metadata that can be accessed?
I can actually, if you allow, Franz, I can even give them the like this REST service as well. Like,
Sure, if that's something that is useful. Yep.
yeah, like so it's a bit, yeah. If I click here and then maybe I can put in the chat.
Yep.
Is that okay?
That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
So the visualization application is using one like layers based on this services that uh, France's team has put together. And then, so one can go to this and grab it, use it in your own application if you are using application. And you will see detailed metadata. For example, like if I go to RGB and then, so they have put nicely all the description uh, regarding how it has been created and what's like are the layers that has been used. If you go to, let's say, water extent, so some descriptions there as well.